She was cleaning the CEO's office the night she discovered a mistake that could destroy his billion-naira deal. But fixing his code was the least dangerous thing she was about to do. Because the moment she stepped into his world, she stepped directly into the path of a woman who already owned it. Amaka Johnson had mastered invisibility. Not talent, not magic, just survival. In a company filled with expensive confidence and polished voices, she moved quietly, with a mop, like a shadow that existed, but was never acknowledged. People spoke around her, not to her. Decisions were made in front of her, as if she were part of the furniture. But every night, that same invisible girl became someone else. In a small room with flickering light, an old laptop sat on a wooden table. The battery barely lasted, the keys stuck sometimes, but her mind, sharp, focused, unstoppable. She wasn't just learning how to code, she was building a life no one believed she deserved. Meanwhile, Ethan Cole didn't believe in mistakes, not in business, not in people, and definitely not in himself. At 35, he was everything success looked like. Tall, controlled, sharp jawline that looked like it rejected nonsense automatically. His voice was calm enough to close million-dollar deals, and cold enough to end conversations in seconds. And standing beside him at almost every major moment was Vanessa Wright, elegant, powerful, dangerously composed. She wasn't just the chief operations officer. She was the woman everyone believed would soon become his wife, because she carried herself like she already was. The night everything changed, the office was tense. Developers whispered, executives paced, phones buzzed with urgency, because by morning, a billion-naira deal would be decided. And everything depended on one system, Ethan's system. Amaka wasn't supposed to care. She was just there to clean. But then, she saw it. An open laptop, lines of code glowing softly in the dark. She tried to look away. She really did. But something pulled her closer. One glance became two. Two became focus. Focus became fear, because buried inside that perfect code was a mistake, small, quiet, deadly. If that system processed large data, it wouldn't slow down, it wouldn't warn anyone, it would crash, in the middle of the presentation, in front of investors, in front of the world. "Why are you standing there?" The voice cut through her thoughts instantly. She turned, and there he was, Ethan, watching her. Her throat went dry. "Sir, there's a mistake." Silence. Vanessa, standing behind him, slowly folded her arms, then smiled, not kindly. "Oh," she said softly. "The cleaner audits code now." A few people nearby chuckled. Amaka felt the heat rise in her chest, felt the weight of their judgment. But she didn't step back. "Run it," she said quietly. Something in her voice stopped the room. It wasn't confidence, it wasn't fear, it was certainty. Ethan turned slowly, walked to the laptop. He typed, ran the test. Freeze, error. He tried again. Crash, again, crash. The room changed. The laughter disappeared. The air shifted. Vanessa's smile faded completely. Ethan didn't speak, didn't react. He just stared at the screen, as if it had betrayed him. Then slowly, he turned to her. "Your name?" "Amaka." And in that moment, she stopped being invisible. The next morning, the boardroom was full. Investors, executives, power sitting comfortably in expensive chairs. Ethan stood at the front, confident as ever. But this time, Amaka stood beside him. She fixed it. 3 simple words. But they shook the entire room. Heads turned, eyes widened, whispers spread. Vanessa didn't clap, didn't smile. She just watched Amaka carefully. The way people watch something they don't trust yet. Because something had shifted, and she didn't like it. Days turned into weeks. Amaka moved from cleaner to developer, then to working directly with Ethan. Late nights became normal, shared screens, quiet conversations, occasional laughter that surprised both of them. And slowly, something began to grow, something neither of them planned. Ethan found himself watching her, the way she focused, the way she solved problems, the way she spoke when she forgot to be afraid. It was different, real, unfiltered, and Vanessa noticed everything. She didn't confront him immediately. No, women like Vanessa didn't fight openly. They calculated, they waited, then they struck. One evening, she walked into Amaka's workspace, elegant as always, controlled as ever. "You're adjusting well," she said. Amaka nodded politely. Vanessa stepped closer, lowered her voice. "Just remember something." A pause. "Opportunities like this," her eyes scanned Amaka slowly, "are temporary." Then she smiled and walked away. That night, rain tapped softly against the glass walls. The office was almost empty. Amaka stared at her screen, frustrated. The code wasn't working. Ethan walked over, stood beside her, watched quietly. "You're overthinking it." She didn't look up. "Then fix it." He smirked slightly, sat beside her, close, too close. Their hands brushed over the keyboard, and for a moment, neither of them moved. Something passed between them, unspoken, powerful, dangerous. Days later, at the company gala, everything changed again. Vanessa wore red. Not soft red, not subtle red, wore red. She stayed close to Ethan all night, touching his arm, laughing easily, claiming space. Until she saw him walk away. Not toward investors, not toward executives, toward Amaka. Her smile froze. Ethan stopped in front of her, looked at her. "You look different." Amaka raised an eyebrow slightly. "I'm not holding a mop." He smiled, soft, real. "Now you run my systems." A pause, then quietly. "And you've been running through my mind too." Her heart skipped. Because this was no longer about code. This was something else, something deeper, something that would change everything. Because she entered his life as a cleaner, nobody noticed. But she became the only woman he couldn't ignore, and the only one powerful enough to make a man who never made mistakes risk everything